She did not even why she waved a stack of papers in my face and said, "You will be fined $500 for this violation." Her voice carried the tone of someone who believed she held authority over everyone. I stayed calm, even entertained, knowing something she clearly did not. I was not moving in as a stranger. I was here to check on my tenants, the same families she lectured every day with her self-assigned power. I asked, "And who exactly gave you the right to find me?" The question startled her, but she quickly covered it with more confidence. "I am the HOA president. I am in charge of enforcing the rules here. If you do not obey, we can have you removed." Her tone made me wonder how many people she had pressured into following her directions. Then came the first surprise. She pulled out what looked like an official notice with my name already written on it. "You cannot stay here. This place is not yours." She tried to press it into my hands as if she held real authority. I looked at the paper, then at her, and a slow smile spread across my face. While she thought she controlled the rules, she had no idea who controlled the entire block. "You want to continue this with me?" I asked softly. She crossed her arms, smirking like she had already won. That is when I leaned in and told her just enough truth to unsettle her. "Karen, you are already paying me rent." Her smirk faded as she tried to understand what I had said. Instead of stepping back, she raised her voice. "That is not possible. I know every property owner here. You are trying to intimidate me." She spoke louder so the neighbors watching from their porches could hear her. I pulled out my phone, opened the property records, and showed her a list of addresses. Every single house appeared with a clear payment history. "See that one?" I pointed to the home 2 doors down. "Paid on the 1st of every month." "That one?" I motioned toward the house behind her. "Autopay on the 15th. In your case, you are 2 weeks late." Her face went pale for a moment before she regained her posture. "This does not prove anything. I will have the HOA handle this." She grabbed her phone and began calling someone, speaking urgently as if she were gathering backup. She claimed, "We have someone causing a disturbance and refusing to follow community rules." But the real shift happened when 2 community compliance vehicles pulled up. They were not here because of her call. One of the officers stepped out, greeted me respectfully, and said, "Good evening. We received your request for a routine check." Karen's expression collapsed. She stuttered. "Wait, you contacted them?" I nodded. "That is right. The HOA has been sending out unofficial notices and incorrect fee demands. And now, Karen, you attempted to file a report about the actual property owner." The neighbors gasped. She stepped back, clutching her clipboard. "No, this must be some misunderstanding." But the officers looked unconvinced. One neighbor whispered, amazed by what they were witnessing. Karen tried to regain control. "He is not the owner. He is pretending. I have paperwork." She held out the notice she had printed. One officer looked at it and shook his head. "Ma'am, this is not an official HOA document. This appears to be something you made yourself." Around us, neighbors began murmuring, some quietly recording the situation. Karen's face reddened, yet she pushed forward. "He is trying to deceive everyone. I demand you remove him." That was when I decided to bring everything into the open. I reached into my truck, retrieved a thick leather folder, and handed it to the second officer. Inside were certified deeds, contracts, and tax documents verifying my ownership of the entire block. "I am not just living here. I own this entire area." The officer reviewed the documents and turned to Karen. "Ma'am, everything here is legitimate. It appears you have been issuing unauthorized notices and collecting fees without approval." Karen stood frozen as the murmurs grew louder. Families realized that many of the charges she had demanded were never official. A man shouted, "So all the money we paid you was not real?" Karen's composure fell apart. She yelled, "No, you do not understand. I am the HOA." She said it as if repeating it would make it true, but the neighbors were no longer accepting her claims. They were upset, and rightfully so. Phones were up, capturing the moment her influence slipped away. I leaned against my truck and said the line that ended it. "Karen, you tried to remove the landlord from his own property. How did you expect this to end?" Her eyes darted around, searching for support, but the crowd was done. A woman from across the street yelled, "You told me my decorations were illegal last month." A man added, "You charged me for leaving my bin outside. Was that even real?" The crowd grew louder. Karen panicked. Instead of apologizing, she rushed toward my truck and opened the door, rummaging through the passenger seat like she hoped to find something to prove her point. "See, he is hiding something. He is not the owner." The compliance officer raised his voice. "Ma'am, step away from the vehicle." She ignored him, searching faster, her frustration building. When she found nothing, she tried another attempt. She grabbed her phone and insisted she would contact higher authorities. She claimed, "Someone is pretending to control this neighborhood." But halfway through her call, the officer gently took the phone and said, "Ma'am, we are already familiar with the situation. This man manages the legal contracts for these properties." Karen stiffened. "What do you mean?" The officer gestured toward me. "He is the verified property owner and the individual responsible for coordinating community oversight here." The crowd erupted with relief. Karen stumbled backward, clutching her clipboard, realizing the truth was out. And still, she was not finished. Her voice wavered as she insisted, "None of this is real. You are all being tricked." She pointed at me desperately. "He is not who he says he is." Then, in a final attempt to regain her image, she picked up the notice she had dropped and marched toward a neighbor, a single mother standing with her daughter. She held out the paper and said, "You are being cited for violations. Handle it immediately." The little girl tugged at her mother's shirt, frightened by the tension. That became the breaking point. The crowd raised their voices. "You cannot keep pressuring families," someone said. Another neighbor yelled, "We trusted you with our homes." The compliance officers stepped forward, guiding Karen away as she insisted she had authority. The truth settled over the crowd. Families realized the financial pressure she had placed on them was never official. An older man whispered sadly, "She took half my savings for those maintenance fees." His voice trembled as he looked at me. "Was it all false?" I nodded gently. "Every cent.